Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my top 10 favorite must-have brushes video. This could quite possibly be the most important video that I film on my channel. The brushes are what create the canvas, the eyes, everything for makeup. If you do not have good application tools, it's not going to turn out the way you want. There are specific things that I look for in brushes for both complexion and eyes that are really important. Some great companies to shop from and some specific brushes that have really changed the game for me for makeup. I use these brushes to create this look you see today. It is my go-to glam makeup, and I filmed that video as well. So you're going to be seeing some clips for the brushes for B-roll application, but if you want to see the entire tutorial, I will have that on my channel either before or after this video. So if you are really liking what you see, the full tutorial will be up, but this video specifically is just on these brushes, and I wanted to go in detail about why I love each, why I think you could benefit from these brushes if you are struggling in a certain area, how I think these will help you. I have my thoughts on these, and I cannot wait to share with you my top 10 favorite brushes currently of all time. These are so good, so thank you so much for clicking on this video, for watching this series. I've been enjoying so much sharing with you the best of the best out there. It doesn't get any better than these brushes for me, so thank you for tuning in, and let's jump into my first brush. I feel like a lot of people for foundation are either team beauty blender or team makeup brush. Some people even use your hands, and for me, for some formulas, I do that too. However, for overall application of product, I am team makeup brush. So the first one I wanted to share with you is one of my go-to brushes. I reach for this one and another one similar to it for my foundation every time I apply my foundation. This is what I reach for. I have numerous ones of this, and they're all dirty because I use them to complete this look. But my B-roll, you'll see the clean brushes. And this first brush, I know a lot of you are probably familiar with. It is the BK Beauty 101 brush. And this brush for foundation, it doesn't get better. You get the coverage, you get the smoothness, you get the evenness, the quickness because of how large it is. And also it's angled, so you can really get into all the crevices of your face and get the job done quickly, effectively, beautifully. It is one of my favorite brushes, if not my favorite brush of all time. I recently found another one that I might like a little bit more because I can do a little bit more things with it. But this one, if you're looking to get your foundation done fast, to have a beautiful canvas, this is what you need. It is my #1 recommendation for foundation brush. And if you like something a little bit smaller, maybe you have a smaller face or you want the versatility that I'm going to share with you, this brush for cream and liquid products does it all. It's also from BK Beauty. It's the 109. When they released this, I knew it was a game changer for my makeup routine specifically. I love that their brushes are synthetic because I can use them with my cream and liquids, or I can use them with powders, no problem. They have the best sort of bristles for me and the most versatility, so I highly recommend checking them out. All the brushes will be linked down below. I think I still have a coupon code with BK Beauty, which might be MakeupByCheryl. I'll have to double check. I think it saves you 10% though, but I will have that link below in case you want to go check them out. But this one specifically, if you're looking for cream bronzer, your contour, or your blush, this is what I like to use for. And if you're not wanting to invest in too many brushes, you could also use this for foundation, concealer if you want. It's a little bit big for concealer for me, but I do often use this for my foundation as well. And I usually always use this for my cream bronzer and my cream blush. It is my go-to perfect size. I love the angle of it. I love how smooth it makes the skin and just how it applies the product absolutely perfectly. It doesn't get better than this brush for me. It is the most versatile. This probably is my #1 brush that I wanted to recommend for you, but all these brushes I'm going to suggest have specific purposes. This one just has the most use for me, so it is worth your money to pick this brush up. I also have numerous ones of this because I cannot do my makeup without this brush. I need backups if it's dirty. I need this brush to do my makeup. It is a need for me. These two, you need. I know there's people who do not like dual-ended brushes, and this isn't part of my top 10, but it's an honorable mention for those of you who are like me that like a dual-ended brush. And this one combines both my loves of the 101 and 109 in one brush. It is phenomenal. Look at this side comparison. They're basically the same brush. This is from Makeup by Mario, and this is actually worn off. I think it's the F4. I'm gonna double check for you guys. I never remember the number of it just because I don't look it up anymore. I just use it all the time, literally wearing off the name of it. Both sides I'll use for cream and liquid products. Usually for foundation is this one specifically because I'll put it on with the smaller side and then kind of blend it out with the larger one. And that's what I use it for. I can get my foundation done so quickly with this. And if I'm using other cream and liquid products, I'll just flip it around and really get my face done so quickly. It is a go-to, but I know a lot of people don't like dual-ended brushes because they store their brushes like this. For me, for the most part, I store my brushes laying down, so that's why a dual-ended brush doesn't bother me, but there was a time in my life where I didn't like dual-ended brushes because I'd always store them like this. So how would you do that with a brush on the other end, right? So I get it. I know people don't like them. However, if you want a 2-in-1 sort of deal, I'd recommend the Makeup by Mario one. It's fantastic. I didn't include it in the top 10 though because there's specific designs that I wanted to share with you. And also, going on that same similar design, we're getting a little bit smaller now, is from BK Beauty as well. And this is the collab that they did with Angie Hot and Flashy. I know this concealer brush is pretty viral right now. It is the A506 brush, and it is the perfect brush if you want something a little bit smaller than the 109. So we're going a little bit smaller now. And this is for concealer. It just maintains the coverage of your concealer while blending it out beautifully, and I feel like the angle of it is perfect. It can really get in those corners, and I just think it's a great addition to my complexion brushes that I use. So I reach for this often. I also have other brushes that I really like the Hourglass one. There's one from Sephora collection that I kind of wanted to pick up to test out too. A lot that have this similar sort of design, but for the price and the quality, I would go for BK Beauty. It's just so phenomenal, and I think you're gonna love it. I know so many people do. They're just really good quality brushes. My fourth brush to recommend is not necessarily about putting on product, though it does put on product. Often I use this for correcting, removing. Sometimes I don't think as artists we talk about the process of correcting our makeup, which I think is equally as important as actually putting it on, because I don't do my makeup perfectly every time. I like a brush that I can go back and fix things up, whether it's creating a more sharp wing, whether it's cleaning up my mouth line, which I probably should do right now, to clean up underneath my brows so that I can try and make them as symmetrical as possible, even though it's impossible with my brows. This is my do all, sharpen things, clean things up, also lay down concealer brush. It's a dual-ended brush, I know, but this one is worth it for me. I got this from the Morphe and Ariel brush collection, which I also have another brush to mention from that collection because it is unique. And you can get this similar sort of brush from the Jessup brushes on Amazon. So you do not have to spend the Morphe price tag, though these often go on sale, and Ulta has them as well. Sephora Canada did at one point have them. Here's the Jessup one, which I also use all the time. The name is off of it because I use it so much, but nearly identical, these two brushes, just in length, and I use them both for the reasons I already stated. So I will link both down below in case you want to pick up the set, or if you want to go for the cheap ones from Amazon. They're both really good, but it's only the blush brush that is a little bit different because it's a highlight brush in the Jessup ones, and I really think the blush brush is something unique from the Morphe and Ariel brush collection, which I want to share with you guys. So this one I used today to clean up underneath my brows. As you can see, I was cleaning up my lips because I've been talking and stuff is starting to move, but just to clean things up. This is my mistake eraser sort of brush, and I love that there's two ends to it because I can get really detailed with this one, but then blend everything out with the larger side. So really great for cleanup work. My fifth brush is also from that Morphe and Ariel collection, and it's their blush brush, and I think this is super unique because it applies blush in such a way that is so diffused. And if you struggle with blush just going on and not being able to blend it out, this is the perfect brush for you to just lightly apply it, and it blends itself because it really diffuses the blush, and I think it's phenomenal. So I used it today for my blush, obviously, and then I went back in with the 109 for the cream on top. So this I use for powder specifically. I don't use it for liquid at all. This is strictly my powder blush brush, and it's my favorite because of those reasons. It diffuses it. So love that for number 5. For my bronzer brush, this is the Smith 154. I hope they still make this or are around. I didn't check, but I wanted to show you the style that I love for bronzer, and this is lightly tapered. It is such a gorgeous brush. I can use either side, so if one day I use this one, I can flip it over, use this side so that I'm using different bronzers. I don't have to clean my brush after that single use. And I love that it has that taper, so I can slightly contour with this as well. I personally like to bronze tour, so this is the perfect sort of brush for doing that for me, is giving that bronze tour effect. I used this with the Haus Labs bronzer today. It doesn't give any sort of patchy look. It evenly distributes. I love that it has that taper, so I can kind of get into my hairline as well. For me, it's just the perfect design for a bronzer brush, and I've just always reached for this for my bronzer. I've tried other brushes that are bigger, smaller, different shapes. I always go back to the 154 from Smith Cosmetics. It is just the best to me. And then also another great brush company that I love and swear by are the Zoeva brushes, and they don't get enough love, and I love this one specifically because of its unique design. I don't use this one as much as I used to because I don't often contour my nose, but if you contour at all, whether it's nose or cheeks, this brush is for you. It is the Zoeva 109 Face Paint Brush. I use this for powder only. This is great for getting that straight line. If you want to contour the nose, it's not too long either, so it kind of fits, honestly, the perfect length of my nose. But also you can turn it this way and get that perfect chisel for your contour. If you're applying any sort of contour to the face, I think this is great for that too. I typically don't even contour, but if I'm going to, this is the brush I'm reaching for both nose and the face. I think it's perfect. I love the design of it. It's unique. You don't see too many brushes like this, honestly, but it just makes the job easy. And that's what I want when I'm doing my makeup. I want it quick. I want it easy. I want it to basically blend my product itself without me doing any sort of work. This does the work for me, and that's why I love it. If you're looking for a perfect highlight brush, one that can either pick up a light amount of product, pick up a heavy amount of product, that can place it and blend it all in one, this is the highlight brush you're looking for. Or anyone basically with this shape. I know there's a couple brands that do a brush design like this. I'm just mentioning this one because it's the one I reach for. I think Anastasia Beverly Hills has one similar to this and a couple other brands, but this is the Sephora Collection Pro Highlight Brush. And for highlight, it's just the best at placement and also just diffusing as well, because that's what I'm looking for. I want to diffuse light application, nothing that goes on streaky or heavy. It has to be able to basically blend as it's going down. So these brushes to me are just so worthwhile. If you're looking for a specific step of your makeup routine that you're looking for a brush for, these are all the ones that I would recommend. This is the only eye brush I'm recommending because for the most part, I feel like for eyes, companies do pretty much the same brushes these days, I feel. It's when you get to complexion brushes where there's the differences for me, which I wanted to highlight. I feel like for the most part, you can pick up a really good eye brush set and get the basic brushes you need. For me specifically, this brand does the best detail eye brushes in the game. These are what you're looking for. If you need smaller brushes, if you have smaller eyes or detail work, these are what I'm going to recommend for you. This one specifically is from Refer, and it's the number 14 brush. I use this to create the smoky wing on the outer corner to get that detail and also to blend everything out. Their detail brushes, I have a few more here to show you, are incredible. You cannot get better detail brushes than Refer on the market. They do tiny brushes so well to get that detail work, which I think is imperative for the eyes. And this is something that I look for because you don't see this often in makeup brush companies doing these really tiny brushes. I think they're overlooked for the most part. My most used is the Rougher 14 just for the size of it, because I could use this for the crease if I wanted to, because I don't have too big of eyes. I could also use it for outer corner work, for blending out, for underneath the eye. This, for me, I can use for a multitude of stuff. I can use it sideways if I wanted for my lid color. It's just the perfect size for a detail brush for me. One that I highly recommend, but Rougher also does a bunch of phenomenal, really tiny brushes. This pencil brush, you don't get smaller than that. And they are so good. So highly recommend Rougher. And then the 10th brush that I'm going to recommend is my last brush. Also a dual-ended brush. However, this one warranted its placement. I didn't use it today for this look because it's for powder. And this is when I'm in a pinch, I need a brush for powder. Typically, as of lately, I've been applying my powder with a puff. If you're not a puff person for your powder yet and you're still loving a brush, this is the one that I would recommend for you. I do reach for it, but just when I'm getting my makeup done really quickly, because the puff is when I want to take my time, press everything in. I think it works better. But if you want this for any sort of powder, you can use it for your setting powder, your pressed powder, your bronzer, your blush. If you need a powder brush, either small size or big, depending on what you're doing, this is the only powder brush you need. It is from Hourglass. It's their Veil powder brush. I love it for setting underneath my eyes or quickly putting powder on my face. If I'm not going for an overly set face and just want a light bit of powder, this is the brush I'm reaching for. Those are my 10 brushes that I just cannot live without, that are perfect for my makeup routine, and I hope they help you out doing your makeup as well, because these have truly helped me do my makeup and get to the quality that I'm looking for my own makeup. So I hope this video helped you out in any way. And if there's favorite makeup brushes that you have, definitely share them in the comments section below. Let everyone know what your favorite brushes are. I want to know. I'm sure other people are going to want to know too. So thank you so much for clicking on this top 10 video, and I will definitely be doing more in the series coming up, so let me know what you want to see next. Thank you guys so much for watching, for spending some time with me today, and if you've not already, I'd absolutely love for you to subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button, the bell to be notified of all my future videos, and I will see you guys in my next one.